We are at Devoxx Belgium 2018, and I'm joined by the Countr.ai crew. That's Stefaan and Kasper. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, as a conference organizer myself, I know that it's really important to track the flow of people as much as possible, because we need to know how many people are in a room, if the room's overflowing, to try and get some messaging to them, or at least show them that what the room capacity is like somehow. And we've been talking about this for a while, and now you've got a solution for this. So tell us a bit about Countr.
Stefaan came to us and he had like this crazy idea that he had to actually get an overview of how many people were in the rooms, because he tried a couple of things before, but it didn't really work. They didn't really provide a solid solution. So we came up with the idea that, well, what if we could capture video streams and actually check and see how many people are in the rooms? That way we could actually count the persons and have a realistic view of how many people are in certain sessions. So that's when we started with the Countrai project, and that's how we ended up with a solution that works with AI, TensorFlow, and then has a solid solution for this particular problem.
So you've mounted cameras above doorways on the entrance and exit of the session rooms, and that's counting heads effectively, or full people? How does it work?
It's counting full people.
Yep.
We had some issues there because depending on the position of the camera, it's not always possible to have a good view of every people, especially people at the sideways. Sometimes you cannot capture their heads, so we need to be able to detect body parts, and that's actually what we try to do. So we count heads, we count body parts, we count half body parts. If people are working in dark clothes and they are close to a dark wall, then you only see the head. So it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
So we have a very flexible network.
And I know you used a lot of training data in order to get this moving in the first place from Devoxx Belgium from last year, capturing some stuff from a single station. You've probably learned some things, and there have been some challenges along the way. Tell us a bit about those.
Last year we had footage that was taken by the camera crew last year, and what happened there is they captured footage in a 45-degree angle. So that meant that when we annotated that data, when we tried to make a model out of that, we noticed that this year we actually capture shadows, because shadows kind of look like people in a 45-degree angle. So those are the things that we noticed. Another thing was that we based our model on complete-sized heads. We didn't base the model on like half a person, we based the model on a complete person. And that were the issues that we mainly had. That in combination with lighting as well, because if you have an image that's too dark, like someone who's running around wearing a black t-shirt, that didn't really work that well, because we have a dark floor here, and the people actually blend in. So those were the issues that we mainly had right now.
Yeah, yeah. But from an accuracy perspective, where are you at now?
We're actually at an 85 to 90% accuracy level, which is quite good, given the fact that we had a bad model to start with. So yeah, we're actually quite happy, yeah.
And the aim is to get that where?
We want to get to 99%, obviously. But we're actually quite convinced that with the right footage, we can quickly gain 95% accuracy. So that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting for me, because I know we already track favoriting prior to the event, so we've already got an idea of how many people intend to go to a session. But then taking the actual number of people that did attend the session, and it's important to say this is all anonymized. You're not actually kind of capturing faces and doing any kind of recognition on that perspective. It's simply bodies walking through, effectively.
Yeah.
But then having that information, and then being able to extrapolate the data from that and start to look at that versus number of ratings for sessions and stuff like that, it's an extra layer of information that's going to be so valuable as an organizer.
Yeah, I mean, someone asked me yesterday, like, why don't you just take a picture and just count the heads? But then again, that's not really what we want to do. Yes, we are obsessed with counting and we do want to have the numbers, but looking at the timings at when people are in the rooms and providing analysis on that data, that's where the intelligence lies.
Yeah.
And that's where the value lies for the organizers.
Yeah, absolutely. When I arrived on Tuesday, the first thing Stefan showed me was like, hey, come look at this. And he had the dashboard up and it was saying, okay, this is how many people in each room. And you know, it just means that you're very agile as an organizer because you've got the correct information to hand. So it's an exciting project. I know that there's a whole heap of things that you're going to carry on doing. And thanks very much for coming and sharing some of it with us.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thanks.